Welcome back to the Nitch Life. Today we're going to talk about taking the path of least resistance versus the path of least regret. When I was 24 years old, my life was right in the middle of a particularly tough transition from college to the first stop on my career. I had a degree in political science and the good fortune of working in the administration of a newly elected governor. However, the experience had left me entirely uncertain about my desired future in politics. On a personal level, the social transition from college to starting my new life on my own had been difficult as well. One night, I heard the phone ringing and walked into my bedroom to answer it. On the other end was the always welcome and comforting voice of my mother. However, something wasn't exactly right. The only thing I remember hearing in the conversation was brain cancer and that I should make plans to come home for the weekend. That call began a one-year journey which would ultimately conclude with my mother's passing. However, I learned much about the precious gift of time during that year. I was blessed to have many honest conversations with my mother in her final months when her prognosis became terminal. The most significant gift of wisdom she gave me on her deathbed was that her biggest regret in life was choosing the path of least resistance too often. She wished she had believed more in herself to take charge of her life, to take more chances, and to do things a little differently. She was the most amazingly loving and selfless woman I've ever known, but she spent too much time worrying and taking care of others when she should have been spending a little more time taking care of herself. Since then, I've learned that if you're looking for more daily energy to take care of others and your daily responsibilities, it must first begin by taking better care of yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. As life has taught me, traveling along the path of least regret is achieved by focusing on one small step at a time, using your progress to fuel your momentum. Imagine you were stranded in a cave in absolute darkness, with only a small torch and a box of matches. You're desperate to move out of the darkness to re-enter civilization, but it's not immediately clear as to which direction to travel, and you cannot see far enough into the distance to set a course. However, you can clearly see those 3 feet in front of you, and step by step, you begin to try out different directions until you find the pathway out of the cave. If you were faced with these circumstances in life, would you simply take the path of least resistance and stay there trapped in the darkness to live out your days? Of course not. Then why would you remain stranded in the aspects of your life which separates you from living your niche life and sharing your unique gifts with the world around you? When we look at the distance and uncertainty of any journey in life, it can certainly be intimidating. But always remember, each step not only brings us closer to our destination, it also puts distance between us and the place where we started. Soon, the fear and intimidation diminishes and yields newfound strength and courage. Suddenly, you will realize the true reward isn't simply achieving your niche life. It's about having the opportunity to live it each and every day. In life, the path of least resistance is often the path of most regret. But the pathway upon which we walk forward, despite the resistance we face, is the niche life. There will be success and there will be failure, but you'll never feel regret for taking the journey. So here's your niche writing exercise for this episode. At the top of a page, write the areas of my life in which I'm taking the path of least resistance in one column. In the second column, write the things I would regret the most if I knew I only had one more year to live. Be sure to answer these questions in your niche journal at the end of the episode. But before we go, I'd like to share with you our first niche TV short documentary, which introduces you to the niche life of someone who has managed to travel both the paths of least resistance and least regret in his life. Jimmy Voegeli grew up on a multi-generational family farm in Wisconsin and faced the expectation of continuing in the family tradition. However, while in college, he discovered his true niche was music. Take a look and see how he was able to reconcile both worlds in building a niche life that is music to his ears and the world around him.
Yeah, normally it'd be probably, what, 90 degrees out on a day like today. Hay drying like crazy, go all night. You know, I liken my journey a little bit to what my father's was. When he was in college, he was actually going to school to be a veterinarian, and he kind of got pressured a little bit by his father to come back to the farm. And when I got done with college, I reluctantly came back and was helping, and I knew that there were other things I wanted to do. I always knew music was important. I even knew at a young age that I could tell I wanted to be on stage. Played trumpet and euphonium in high school and dabbled around with piano and drums, but didn't really take it serious until later in my college career. And yeah, came back here to work on the farm and slowly kept getting busier with bands. Haven't turned back. I remember when I was in school at UW-Madison, this thing on TV came out called MTV, where they actually showed music videos. You know, they actually had videos.
It started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I can remember I was in ag school at UW-Madison and sitting on the couch in our ag fraternity, Alpha Gamma Rho, and watching this channel, and I see this band come on as the Satellites, and they're on this truck going down the highway, and there's Morrow, who of course I didn't know at the time, and then the next video is Cheap Trick, you know, and honest to God, the next video was the Producers, which one of their hits that they had, you know, and just thinking to myself, God, I could be that person, you know, and flash ahead about 25, 30 years, and there I am sharing the stage with them with our CD release party. It took a long time, but nonetheless, it's still pretty cool that it happened in a lifetime. I'm pretty tickled about it. It's pretty neat. There used to be dairy farms dotted all along the road, and every neighbor was a dairy farm, and now we're the only working dairy farm within I don't know how many miles. This feed has a lot of corn silage in it, and a lot of haylage, which is alfalfa. And we still add in soybeans, and they all get kind of chopped up, ground up. We add minerals into one mix of feed, and they're allowed to eat it as much as they want at any given time of the day. There's the family farm like ourselves that have grown to a size that maybe this will be our maximum size. We run about 1,500 acres, milk 200 cows. Certainly there are much bigger family farms, but you know, you start getting into the cover of a commercial farm almost. They're still family farms, but they are very much in the commercial side of it. Otherwise, it seems to be really small, and then I see a lot of farms our size, but more and more it's becoming what you fear and see is big commercial farms. We often wonder why we're in it, but there just seems to be something innate. There's something that is inside us that we can't seem to stop, especially my brother and now hopefully my niece and nephew. There's something in human nature and in life itself where it's, you know, you plant, nurture, and harvest, and we're doing that every year, and you can sense yourself going back to ancestors and what it really was. Even though we're doing it in a modern sense, we're still doing the same thing. We're still still planting crops in the spring and nurturing them through the summer and harvest in fall. And there's something when you get done with the fall harvest that makes you feel very complete.
Be sure to subscribe to our NitchTV channel on YouTube and join our NitchTV community on Facebook. Until next time, may your heart be filled with strength, gratitude, passion, and purpose.